Welcome to it, man. We are so pumped to have this dude on the show, and we're appreciative of the Seattle Kraken admins for making this happen. But the Seattle Kraken's very own Ryker Evans, welcome to the Kraken Pod, dude.
Yes, thanks for having me, guys.
So let's start with a few things here. Is where in the world are you right now?
In Seattle right now.
Okay, now is this your place? Are you crashing somewhere? Where are you living?
No, I'm in the hotel right now.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's cool.
Are you doing living out of the hotel rooms, living out of 2 suitcases, and still using Cartier's washing machine? Like, what's the deal with that?
That's exactly it. Yes.
Wait, so are you rooming with carts then?
No, so I'm at the hotel. I've been living in the hotel for a little bit now.
But you have your own room at least, right? You don't have to share.
Yeah, only on the road, me and Cart share. Yeah.
All right.
Actually going over to Cart's house for dinner tonight, so I don't have to eat out.
What? Okay, so wait. So Carts has a house in Seattle, which is awesome. What's on the menu? What are y'all eating?
His girlfriend's cooking chicken parm, so
oh yeah.
Good.
She's a keeper. Know nothing else about it. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, no, it should be good.
Chicken parm. I was at an Italian spot here, and chicken parm's like my go-to at the Italian spot, so I'm very jealous. That sounds also too like it's a good get those carbs in, for that morning skate tomorrow, and then get ready for the game and all that sort of good stuff. So
yeah, no, I'm usually a chicken al vodka guy. I love that. Anytime I go out to an Italian spot, that's the go-to. But we'll switch it up and have some chicken parm.
So how is it, man? How's life in the show?
It's been pretty sweet so far. Other than living out of the suitcases.
But you're doing a good job, though, of making a case for ditching the suitcase, right, and sticking around and doing your thing. Like, what are you learning since being in the big time, and like, what's it like for you, this transition? You've had an awesome career, and we're as fans, we're excited to have you part of the Seattle Kraken organization. But like, where's your head at? What have you learned? Are you just like eyes wide open, absorbing so much? Like, what is it like?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different change. It's a different league completely. Like in the AHL, guys are trying to run you through the boards and stuff like that, and up here, guys are trying to outsmart you. So just little changes like that, and then just the travel. The travel up here is it's crazy. You learn pretty quick how to pack, and then just how to take care of your body.
Okay, so are you an overpacker, an underpacker? Are you like simple? Do you have to I throw so much stuff. I don't know what to pick, so I just throw everything into a suitcase.
Yeah, I mean, I try to underpack, but I always end up overpacking when I think I'm packing.
So now, okay, you talking about having chicken parm with Cart's girlfriend making some chicken parm for you tonight, but what is health like, on going from AHL to NHL? What are they doing? Do they have guys who are like monitoring what you're doing? Is it on you? Like, what is the look, hey, I don't know if you know this, Ryker. I'm pretty well versed in hockey because I played a lot of beer leagues, so I'm sure it's pretty much the same. But like health wise, what have you learned so far? That's got to be a completely different transition. It's so fast. Guys are so smart. What's that like? Like, what kind of health stuff have you learned in the short time that you've been around?
Honestly, both places are amazing. I learned so much in both spots. Coachella, they do a great job of teaching the young guys how to take care of themselves and feeding them properly at the rink too. And here in Seattle, you just kind of on your own because they expect you to kind of know that stuff. So you do what works for you.
Okay, that's scary, but also awesome too. Obviously, you wouldn't be where you are if you didn't pay attention to what you're doing. All right, so you're from Calgary.
Yeah, big city, Calgary.
All right, so we just had some major run-ins with the Flames. Is that tough? You grew up a Flames fan?
Honestly, no. I was a Colorado Avalanche fan growing up.
Nice.
Sakic fan.
Yeah. I'm from Detroit, so that's tough. But I much respect, and I can tell, right? I can tell you have class because Joe Sakic is somebody that I'll always respect. Number 19 to a Steve Yzerman number 19. So being an Avs fan, I can give you that. But I went through it all with the Lemieux stuff and all that sort of stuff. So you grew up in Calgary. You grew up an Avs fan. Was Joe Sakic your guy? Is that your idol?
Yeah, he was always my guy, and then my dad loved Steve Eiersman. So growing up, I was always number 19, and then
That's so cool.
obviously in junior, I ended up switching to 41, but 19 was always my number because of Joe Sakic.
That's awesome. Why 41?
That's just what they gave me when I first got to Regina, and it just ended up sticking.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so kind of popping over, like let's talk about some league stuff. Like, talk to us, Carts, Calgary, you. What was that like? I mean, you're now dealing with big time drama, right? That happens in the NHL. What was that like? What's like the moment so far that's been like, whoa, this is really super intense? Was it that game? Was there a different game that stood out to you? Like, I can't believe this. This is nuts.
Not really. There hasn't really been any drama like that that's really stood out to me.
Right on.
Just kind of just soaking it all in. When you're out there playing, you kind of forget that you're in the National Hockey League. It just feels like another game. Until you take a step back and kind of look at it from like a viewer standpoint, and you're like, holy smokes, like you're in the NHL.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Now, the hockey obviously been in your blood, since when did you start skating? Like, how old were you?
I started skating when I was 2 years old, and then I don't really know when I started doing recreational hockey. I think probably 5 or 6, but I started skating when I was 2.
That's nuts. So, like, we are, I grew up in Michigan, so I skated, poorly, but I was skating when I was a young kid. Joey has never really skated before.
Literally never.
Yeah. Huge hockey fan though, which is good. Like, what's your earliest like hockey moment?
Like that I remember.
Yeah. Is there like a standout time where you like scored 15 goals in a game, or what was like one thing from your youth that you remember specifically about playing hockey?
Honestly, the first thing that popped in my mind was my dad was always the coach. So I remember he would one time, I think it was like we were losing or something, but he's a competitive guy, and I mean, he didn't let me change for 7 minutes.
Oh.
I mean, now when you look back, you're like, I wish that happens more, but like it's at the time I was pissed at him. He wouldn't let me come off the ice. But I mean, that's like the first thing I kind of remember.
That's awesome.
You mentioned your dad. I know that he owns Core Power over in Calgary. Do you still go there and get some training in? I mean, I know it's again Core Power. He trains in skating and hockey. Do you still go there in the off season and work with your dad over there?
Yeah, all the time. We're on the ice. I'm usually only on the ice with him, and
Nice.
Yeah, I love working with him. It's a lot more fun.
Does he still like gas you? Does he still like, run you ragged? You flashing back to that time?
Not honestly, no, not really. That's I'm more on him now. Oh, passes are good and everything.
That's awesome. Do you have brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I have a younger sister. She plays hockey out at Merrimack.
Oh, that's awesome. Right on. So hockey family. Dad's
Is she out there because your dad went to UMass? Is that the reason why? Sorry to cut you off there, Jeff.
That's all good.
No, that's just where she got her scholarship, was Merrimack there.
That's awesome. You get a chance to watch her play at all?
When we were in Boston, I got to go up there and visit the campus, and she kind of toured me around, so that was good.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's cool. So, like, what was the time when you knew that, like, I mean, you seem like a pretty humble dude, right? But what was the time where you kind of knew that, like, you had a chance to go far in hockey? Was there a time where you were like, this is something that could be my career?
Yeah, I think it was either my 18, 19-year-old year in junior.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of found like my game, and confidence started coming, and then I slowly realized like I could probably make a career out of this. And I just worked on little things that slowly started evolving into my game. And I think the biggest part was the confidence aspect. I think I kind of lacked that at the start. So once I started kind of realizing that I could probably do this, I took off.
Well, in my vast experience of playing hockey, confidence has to, for a defenseman, you have to have that confidence. You got to know what you're doing. Has there been anything else that, like, you picked up that really made you a better defenseman? I mean, being confident is one thing, but like, has there been the game has changed so much in like the last 10 years, even, right? Like what has, if anything, has changed or helped you become a better defenseman?
I like watching video on other guys around the league, especially the top D man. But I think people say it's called swagger, and you just believe in your abilities. And I mean, I thought I had the abilities, but I just didn't believe it. So kind of just telling myself that. And, I think that's the biggest thing that's allowed me to take the step.
So that imposter syndrome, man, it never goes away. But that's a good thing, though. It keeps you humble, keeps you working hard.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I know that in 2018, you and your team, the Notre Dame Hounds, like you had a really big year. So you go to the Telus Cup, you win the whole thing. I think it's the 5th time that that Notre Dame was champions, and you were also named the best defenseman in that tournament. Was that the year that you really felt like your confidence started to turn things around? You're like, okay, I can really do this.
Not really.
Interesting.
That was a year like because I hadn't signed in the Western Hockey League yet, and that was kind of like going to the Telus Cup and winning that was kind of like solidified that like maybe I'd get a contract. But I had to be a certain weight to be able to get a contract, and I don't think I've ever said this like on the media, but like we used to I had to weigh in at the start of camp, and we actually tied ankle weights to my thighs so that I could weigh over 150. And I mean, like the Pats, they always believed in me, and they just wanted me to be a bit heavier, and I didn't make the cut, so I had to. My mom actually came up with the idea of strapping ankle weights to my thighs, and I think I ended up being like 155, but no, it was a scary moment. I'm like, catch me.
Look, if mom signs off on a wild idea like that, you're like, I'm in. Look, she's got my back. If this messes up, that's pretty awesome. You didn't have to go through a metal detector or anything, huh? You lucked out on that one.
No, I weighed in and I ran back to the car.
That's awesome. Okay, so look, I've been watching hockey my whole life, and I've heard there's drastic differences. You crushed it in the WHL. Like, what's the difference between the WHL and like the AHL?
Yeah, there's a huge difference. In the AHL, you're playing grown men now. In the WHL, you're playing 16 to 20-year-olds. So obviously, when you're in that 19, 20-year-old range, like you're dominating that league because you're playing against younger guys, and the game's a bit different. Like it's not nearly as structured as the AHL. So the biggest part is learning structurally how to play when you make that jump, and then just kind of finding your role on the team, especially.
So going back to the WHL, you mentioned the AHL is a little more. You're playing against men, but like was Connor Bedard? You played with him. Was he? Everybody said it. I mean, you're not gonna probably say anything too groundbreaking here, but like, was he just that guy back then?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. I remember when he first came in, he was 15, and I think I was 18 or 19 at the time, and like I was learning stuff from this guy. Like I loved watching him in practice because then like I would try some stuff that he'd be doing because I mean he's just so smart and creative. So it was cool to watch and to be a part of.
That's and like, did you become friends with him at all? Do you keep up with him at all, or is it just you guys play together?
Yeah, we text a little bit here and there to congratulate him on his accomplishments.
That's cool. All right, so you get drafted by the Kraken. What was that like, man? How was that? 35th overall is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool day.
Were you sleeping?
No, the funny story was I was just laying in bed. My parents were
so awesome.
Yeah, my parents were upstairs watching the draft, and all I heard was yelling and screaming. I thought someone set the house on fire or something. And then like 2 minutes later, Ron called. So
that's awesome. Were you nervous? Is that why you couldn't watch?
Not really. No, I was more just kind of like mad, but I mean, it all worked out, and caught me by surprise a little bit too.
I kind of
wait.
set you up there. I asked if you were sleeping because I read a story, and I want to ask you if this is true, that apparently your agent is the one that told you to sleep through the earlier rounds, so you didn't like give your hopes up. So you're like, screw it, I'm going to go take a nap. And then you get called 35th overall, and they're like, hey, man, like wake up. Like you just got drafted by the Seattle Kraken.
Yeah, I mean, like his job's like to kind of give you like an idea as to where you're gonna go. Like he can't tell you exactly. So instead of giving someone's hopes up, he's told you not to watch it. But yeah, I was just laying in bed there.
Yeah. So wait, now, you got drafted into the league, right? That's awesome. But sounds to me, and tell me if I'm wrong here, is like you were obviously you wanted to go higher. Is that why you were kind of not happy?
No, I mean, I can't complain where I went. Obviously, it's
Of course. Yeah. Life's good now. But like in that moment, were you like, man, were you mad at any other team for not picking you?
Not really. No, it's like as a 20-year-old when I got drafted, like pretty rare that a guy gets drafted that high as a 20-year-old. So, no, I just like mad for years past because got passed over twice. But I mean, it all works out.
Hey, to their loss, our gain as Kraken fans.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's Ron Francis like? I mean, he's a wizard. We kind of feel like we have faith in Ron, trust in Ronnie, and like he's just building something awesome in Seattle. And is he just that smart? Do you just like have full utter faith in him for what he's built? Tell me about Ron Francis.
I think his hockey career can explain a lot.
Fair.
Yeah.
One of the smartest hockey players to ever play. So he knows the game inside and out. He's obviously got a track record to back it up. So if I were the Kraken fans, I would have full faith in him.
Yeah, it feels good. You can tell he's like like this past trade deadline, he's just playing it cool, and he's just happy with what he's invested in, and he's going to continue to invest in guys like you in the future, which is awesome. Coachella Valley Firebirds, only been around for a short while. You were part of that. What was it like playing, being a Firebird, and what's it like having that, with you? Like, what are memories like that with that? I mean, it's pretty fresh still, right? But
yeah,
what was it like with the Firebirds?
Yeah, probably to date though, last season was probably the funnest year of hockey I've ever had.
I mean, you crushed it, dude. You crushed it. You guys almost made it happen.
I know. Yeah, we had such great guys that made it so much fun to come to the rink every day, and then obviously we were winning games. And the things you learn that year, like I learned to cook and stuff like that.
Nice.
Just such a good year. Learned lots, and I'm still obviously those guys are like family to me now. So, I mean, it was definitely the best year of hockey I've had.
26 points. I'm sorry, 26 points, 26 games. Joey, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I think we had asked Carts the same question. I'm gonna ask you. We were talking to him, and we were just like, "Hey, what's your favorite hockey memory?" And he actually went back to last year with Coachella Valley, specifically the Calder Cup. Like, do you have any specific memories on that? I mean, I know it was crazy. It goes to Game 7. It goes to overtime in Game 7. The last time that happened was 1953. It was a hell of a series. Like, do you look back on that and you have good memories of it? Or are you just like, I want to win the whole thing this year? And now I'm looking on top of the standings. And of course, Coachella Valley and Hershey Bears, again, they're right up there. I mean, there's a very good chance that y'all face each other again in the Calder Cup final.
Yeah. I think me and Cards can both say that. I mean, we got treated very well, and everything that happened that year was kind of historical. Like it was so fun. I can't say a bad thing that happened all year. I mean, it was such a good time, and I hope we do versus Hershey again in the final. That'd be pretty sweet.
Do you have a favorite memory from last season?
I mean, there were so many. I did like the time when we beat Calgary in overtime there, and Podorowski scored that goal. I was fired. I was probably the most fired up I've ever been.
Yeah, it was a sweet goal.
Are the Firebirds? Okay, so this is something that to me, are the Firebirds jerseys the sickest jersey that you've ever played in? What's like the Firebirds jersey to come out the gate with that such an awesome jersey? I mean, the Kraken jerseys, obviously that's a different story for us. Like we're just so passionate about it. But I got to say, Coachella Valley logo is just awesome.
Yeah, I do like the. Have you guys seen our Sunday Reds?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, those are Sunday Reds, kind of like when Tiger wears his red.
Yeah.
So,
I was gonna say those Sunday Reds make Tiger Woods jealous. Like those they're fucking sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like those ones. I like that logo, that third. So.
That's awesome. All right, so like first game last December, what was it like? First game in the NHL. I mean, you felt confident going into it. You were freaking out. How did you handle that?
Yeah, I felt pretty confident going into the game. I think it made it easier that I knew like my family was going to be there. So that worked out well. Like they weren't rushing the game or anything. They kind of knew I was going to be in. So I was kind of able to just go in there with nothing in my head and just go out there and play. So it made it a lot easier.
5 days after your debut, you get your first NHL points against Florida. You get an assist. Did that feel like you got the monkey off your back? Or are you still like, I'm waiting to score that first goal?
Yeah, obviously you're waiting to score that first goal, and that's in the back of your mind because you just wanted to get it over with.
Yeah.
Getting your first point was pretty sweet against Florida too.
Yeah, pretty sick team too. That's they're just keep getting stronger.
Maybe goal against Vegas tomorrow. Like just bury those dudes.
Well, let's talk about what's going on right now. Is like, obviously it is the wild card hunt. What I really like about what I've seen from the team, and Joey and I have talked about this at length, is that I can tell you guys are in the right headspace. I know, through a lot of the season, we're looking at that overtime record, right? The overtime points, we got 11 of those. I think you all figured it out. And I think in the past couple of weeks, I really like the vibe in the locker room. It seems to translate on the ice. Like, we've got to do this. Are we reading this correctly? Have you guys kind of grown through the season? You guys feel like you're in the right headspace and you've got the right mojo going to maybe snag this last wild card spot?
Yeah, I mean, these last games that we're playing here, they're like playoff games. Every game matters. I think we have full belief that we can make the Stanley Cup playoffs there, and now we're just kind of scratching and crawling our way back into that second wild card spot. So it's definitely going to be a fun little stretch here towards the end.
Yeah. Do you all look at the standings? Are you is Hack coming in being like, guys, did you see what Minnesota did last night? They pulled the goalie in overtime to get that extra point, and they jumped ahead of us. Is he like, making sure everybody's aware of what's going on and how competitive this is, or is it more of like just take it game by game, minute by minute?
I mean, everyone kind of keeps track of what's going on around the league. So I mean, we want to be in that playoff spot enough to know what's going around in the league. So you're keeping mental notes. He doesn't have to come to the room and say that kind of stuff, but you kind of know the situation. And it doesn't help us that Minnesota did do what they did. They just beat them in regulation.
That was nuts, man. That was absolutely disgusting. But like, as a hockey fan, as a Seattle Kraken fan, it stunk. But as a hockey fan, that was pretty awesome to see.
Well, because I actually didn't know about the rule that if they did score, like they got 0 points.
What? Oh, wait, what?
Did you not know that? Like, so when they pull the goalie 3-on-3, and say Nashville went down and scored 4-on-3, Minnesota would have got 0 points.
What? So that's even
what?
That's how big of a gamble it is?
Yeah, so like that's why I think it's only been done one other time, but like so when Minnesota pulls their goalie to go 4-on-3 and Nashville goes down and scores, usually you get that one extra point.
Yeah.
You would get 0.
Oh my! When did
Holy shit!
They are in the NHL's like cooking up all these rules in the lab. That's not that just goes to show you how ballsy that was. That's incredible. I didn't know that.
That's chips all in then. Like I know that rule must have just been sitting there, but no team is ever like really ballsy enough to do it. Minnesota's like, we're doing it, and then it ended up working out.
Yeah, like usually you would do that. I think like the last 3 games of the year, like if you really points, but I mean,
wow, I didn't know that. Well, you got the Golden Knights, and by the time this interview airs, That game may have already happened, but then you got the Preds around the corner too, and we're trying to chip away at their lead here too. What do you? And here's the thing about fans that we deal with all the time is like, oh, it's gonna be too tough to do this, too tough to do this. I mean, teams can start losing, too, and as long as you guys are winning and doing your job, then it's gonna be all right. Like, how are you taking it? How are you handling it? How are you handling this pressure? Are you having a blast? Are you just kind of like, grateful that you got, you're doing your thing, you're playing with the Kraken right now? Like, how are you thinking about it? You're not sweating it?
No, obviously I'm just trying to do what I can to help the team win. And you work so hard for this. You grow up and you're practicing for like moments like these where you can contribute to the team and hopefully make the Stanley Cup playoffs and play for the biggest trophy in the world. So
yeah,
I mean these are fun times, and you just gotta embrace it.
A couple of quick questions about some players. One is I was so pumped when they re-signed Ebbs. And we've heard from like Piper Shaw and some other people we've talked to that he's really just so pivotal in the locker room. He's like he's him or Dunner are DJs in the locker room. Like, how cool was it to know that Ebbs was coming back?
Yeah, obviously he's got a big voice in the room. He's been around for a while, and he's definitely key to this team. And to have him back for 2 more years is huge.
Now, I know Wenny went off to the Rangers. Did you have any experience with him? Did you know him well at all? I mean, obviously it stinks to see him go. I want him to do well with the Rangers. I loved him as a Seattle Kraken player. Did you know him at all? Did you become friends with him?
I did. Yeah, I gotta get to know him a little bit. He's a great guy. He was big for us in all aspects of our game, and it sucks to see him go. But one less guy in the soccer Super Bowl circle to.
Are you in the circle? Are you in that circle?
Yeah, I'm in the circle. I'm not good at all, but he's the best by far. So it gives everyone else a chance now.
I love it.
What do you do when you're not playing hockey? Like, I mean, you doing the golf thing? Are you like, what are you into?
In Coachella, golfed a little bit, but I wouldn't say I'm the biggest golfer. Usually I'm just either hanging out with some of the guys, or we like to play Xbox here and there, so we'll do that.
Awesome. Well, dude, I know you got to get going. Especially you got to get going to get some dinner tonight with Carts, man. That chicken parm sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, it should be good.
I have one more question for you. I have to ask this. I've been thinking about it a lot. Tenny's talks. You, Matt Tennyson, you're like, you're rocking the bathing suit and the snorkel. You're just chilling.
Oh, my God.
It blew up. People loved it. Like, it was a great concept. And I'm watching these videos. I'm like, holy shit, man. I'm like, Ryker Evans is fucking hilarious. Like, the guy's just hanging out in a pool. They're doing interviews. Like, people are really liking him. I have to ask you, though, how much of that inspiration was drawn from Glenny Balls in Sunday Conversation?
Well, honestly, I didn't even know what was going on. I got told that day, like, what I was doing, like, just to bring trunks. And I guess when I did, like, some of the guys while we were getting interviewed, like, they said, like, this is kind of like a spin-off of Glenny Balls and that. So I did see a couple of videos, and it was kind of like that. So I guess you could say that it was a spin-off of it.
Are we going to get more of those at some point?
I don't know. It'd be tough because Tenny signed over in Switzerland there. So
yeah, he's got broadcasting. Isn't that correct? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah. So he was broadcasting a little bit, but now he's playing over in Switzerland.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, I have one more question. I'm sorry. I have one more question for you. Your middle name Garth. That like Seattle Kraken fans, like every time like we live cover the games or on Twitter or whatever, we're talking about it, and every time like the fans are behind you, like they freaking love you. But it's always calling you Garth. Has that been people called you by your middle name forever? Is this a Seattle Kraken fandom thing? And also, did that come from your great grandfather's name?
Yeah. So I didn't get called Garth till last year, like midway through the season.
Yeah.
Because Max McCormick found like my airport bag tag and found my name. So he started calling me that, and then.
Oh shit!
And then the media people in Coachella started calling me Garth, and then everyone just started calling me Garth. So that's kind of how that caught on. And yeah, my great grandfather's name.
That's awesome. I have to
set you up. McCormick set you up there.
I mean, Party on, Wayne. Party on, Garth. Right? I mean, you know that one, right?
I do. Yeah. Now I actually just got told that, so that's gonna be probably my Halloween costume next year.
Oh, you have
Oh
to.
yes, no,
you have
that's
to do
that's
it.
a must.
Have you seen Wayne's World? Have you watched the movie?
No, I've never watched the movie, so I'm gonna have to check it out.
I don't know if it's like, look, I'm 44, dude. So like you're half my age, right? I don't know if like those jokes are timeless or if it's just me going back to like, so you got to let me know. Like you got to watch it and be like, oh, that was hilarious. Or like, I don't get any of these references.
Or like, oh, those guys are dumb and they're really old.
Yeah. All right. Well, dude, Ryker, man, like it's so awesome to see you grow and develop and be part of this organization, and you're crushing it. And I want to see you full time in a Kraken jersey from here on out. And I feel like you're really helping to round out this defense. And I've seen how this Kraken team has really matured just in the past couple of months. And I think you guys are going to make it. I think you guys are going to make that last wild card spot. I've been saying that's going to come down to the last game. I know you will make it, but no matter what happens, I'm so happy with where the team's going and the future. And you're part of that, dude. So, on behalf of Joey and myself and Kraken fans, we're excited to have you around.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely,
right.
Ryker. And go enjoy the chicken parm and tell Carts we said what's up. Come back in the pod again sometime.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'll let him know for sure.
All right, cool. Thank you, Garth.